We were pretty famous back in high school.
Trust us. Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. You enjoying yourself?
Am I enjoying myself?
Yeah, are you
Like, in what way?
finding pleasure with yourself?
It's an interesting way to word it.
That's what I want to know if you're doing or not.
Well, I mean, I had an hour to kill while I was waiting for you, so...
At least it was only an hour.
Yeah. I couldn't fathom doing it more than 7 times.
Doing what? Killing an hour?
You know.
Finding pleasure
Yep.
with yourself?
I think, yep.
So you did it 7 times in that hour?
Yeah, I mean, I took breaks in between.
How many breaks? 6?
Yeah. I mean...
Is there anyone where you could you could be like, hey, you want to join me? This is kind of lonesome. You had an hour. You could have, I'm sure you could have arranged for something to transpire. Unless you don't have those connections anymore.
Yeah, anymore. Like
Those connections you used to have.
Yeah, my deep, thick black book of...
I've never heard a book described as deep before, unless they're talking about the subject matter, not like the shape of it.
Yeah, it's a very
deep book.
Very deep, yeah.
You buried it.
You could drown in that book.
Yeah. It's also mostly liquid. No access to oxygen when you're swimming around that story.
I mean, there's access to oxygen. It's just that there's also, hydrogen in the way.
In the way of it.
Yeah, there's too much hydrogen involved. So it's hard. So you can't just get the oxygen out, and you end up getting a lot of the hydrogen in as well, and that's not good for your lungs. So
right. So then how do you go about using the oxygen that is in that book?
There's like reverse osmosis or whatever that is.
I think that's a filtration system.
Yeah, I use a filtration system. I filter out the hydrogen. And just keep the oxygen.
So does that mess with the balance then? It makes that body of water that
it's
is
got
this
a
book?
bad pH.
Gotcha. So you don't want to use it to clean your hair because you want to maintain a good pH balance, I heard. Something to do with that?
Yeah,
with
well,
hair?
That's when you take 2 different pHs and you put them
on a seesaw?
On either side of like a fulcrum.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a Libra scale, Libra. Shout out. Are you Libra, right?
No.
Damn it. We're exactly a month apart. You could be. I don't know I forget what the dates are. But I'm one, and I like balance. I like fulcrum steadiness.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I got on my dating profiles.
That's why you always have 2 women at the same time.
Yeah.
A little bit
and
of
they
balance.
have to weigh exactly the same amount.
Mm-hmm. And they both have to sit on 1 finger each. It's not like you have 2 penises. It's
on a volunteer basis. No one has to do anything.
Sorry. I figured that was part of your profile too. Like that's, they go into it knowing that's
they do
a prerequisite.
Yeah, right. So anyone's no one's required to participate, and you can decide that you want to opt out at any time. Just please allow me time to find a replacement so that the fulcrum doesn't go off balance.
Yeah, and if you were listening to a couple minutes ago, I hope so. Apparently, Sean would only need somewhere within an hour to be able to find a replacement.
Hey, I'm saying you, with your old connections,
you seemed
able
baffled
to do that.
by the fact that I wouldn't be able to. So it seems like it's just something naturally that like occurs for you. You're just like, an hour, I could have found 17 replacements in that amount of time.
I mean, I'm kept up at night by the amount of tiny rocks thrown at my window.
Right.
And it's sort of like something you tune out after a while. It actually sort of helps me sleep now.
Yeah, there's a weird gang of hooligans that lives outside your house.
No, they're not hooligans. They're women that are interested in joining my double fulcrum experiment.
That's what you tell yourself.
That's what they tell me.
Street roughs. Or street toughs, as it were.
Riff raff.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. Well, Matt,
we've talked about this before, Sean, and we don't bring up Aladdin on this podcast.
Right, his parents did.
His parents didn't raise him.
They didn't?
He was a street
Who raised
rat.
him? Well, he eventually became that, but that doesn't mean his parents didn't raise him at all. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with the story of Aladdin beyond what Disney has shown me.
Yeah, well,
just that he's a liar and still gets what he wants in the end. I can't. I fall asleep to the constant sound of tiny pebbles hitting my window.
Oh, I thought you said to the constant sounds of the ocean waves.
Yeah,
of this deep book.
This deep book. Swish swish, whoosh whoosh.
What else is on your dating profile?
Not a lot of activity.
Provide your own pebbles.
BYOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately has made a lot of mistakes happen.
Just misunderstandings. They turn into some good adventures, but my rates are listed. And rates. my rates. And
name a couple of them. What are some of your rates?
30, 70.
For what? Not just the amounts.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. What two are you getting?
Well, the fulcrum. Remember the fulcrum idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get that for one rate. One low rate.
So 2 people pay 1 rate.
One low rate. Yeah.
One low rate.
It's lower than what the individual cost would be doubled. It's lower than that. So it's a deal.
Well, that's a huge incentive to bring a friend.
Big.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also on my profile. It says huge incentives.
Oh.
Huge.
Huge is in quotes.
Huge is in like you can quote me on that. These incentives
it's in quotes,
are
and for some reason that font is larger than the other fonts.
Well,
it's really compensating for something.
Well, no, it's not that. It's more like a clever.
It's in bold.
Yeah, it's in bold. You got to have those letters very girthy compared to the other letters.
Yeah,
just to really drive the point home. You know what I mean?
Ladies,
it's sort of subtle, but not. It's like people who are good at reading between the lines can really see what I'm saying without saying it directly.
Right.
Yeah. But some of the stuff you have to say directly, like the rates. We don't want any confusion about that before they show up. Yeah. So, yeah.
Which currency is it in?
Any of the modern apps,
Bitcoin
I probably
only
do conversion. Dogecoin. I only deal in Dogecoin. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
nice.
I consider it.
So you're only getting a very specific type of woman that would invest in Dogecoin.
Yeah, they're mostly digital.
Digital women.
Yeah, I interact with a lot of. I interact with a lot of term I can't remember the name of. It was supposed to be a big thing that took off, but it was some sort of digital art that was only one of you could buy. Where you just own
NFTs?
The digital. Yeah, NFTs.
Non-fungible tokens?
Yeah, that's one thing that NFT can stand for.
I mean, I think that's what that specifically does, yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking about a non-fungible token.
Yeah.
But, these tokens, very fungible from what I've experienced.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, non-fuckable...
Why not?
Because you can't fuck a like digital thing, not without some sort of like apparatus like attached to you or something.
It's all VR. You know, I have
Right.
I have the MetaQuest 3, and it's all VR, baby. It's
So you
all
have
my
to,
yeah.
put something like a fleshlight type object on yourself to be able to sense pleasure.
Well, that's
without
what the
you just doing it yourself.
That's what the MetaQuest 3 is good for. That's an attachment you can order separately.
Okay.
It's third party. It's not made by Meta. But there are plenty of manufacturers out there where you can find a good deal.
I mean, I'm sure Meta actually technically owns those companies. They're just like
they probably do.
Pretend like they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. Meta still exists for some reason. Well, I suppose they couldn't realistically just continue to be only a social media like platform. They had to, you know, acquire other businesses that were relevant in order to stay afloat.
So I feel like it's not obviously Facebook isn't fully dead, but it's dying. I feel like it's dying off pretty strong. I think a lot of newer people aren't even fucking with Facebook anymore.
It's all TikTok. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think all that's left on Facebook is like maybe some people a little bit younger than us and people older than us. And that's about it. And then from there on, nobody's even giving a shit about it anymore.
I think most people that are on it that are like, I wouldn't say like significantly younger than us, but yeah, they're probably like children of people that are our age. That
maybe
it's like their parents have Facebook, so they have Facebook or something, so they can all stay connected. Because the old parent doesn't understand how modern current stuff works. So they're like, I can't fiddle with that TikTok. Just get a Facebook account so I can see what you're doing.
Well, they could just have cell phones. I mean,
they have
4-year-olds have cell phones now, so everybody might as well have a cell phone, and then you can just keep track of your kids that way.
Yeah, but no.
Just put all that spyware on it.
Right, but the cell phones, that's for like talking to them or maybe having some sort of location of, for where they are. I'm talking about seeing what they're up to. They can see what they post by scrolling on Facebook on their phone because they're not willing to delve into the world of TikTok and see what their kids are doing on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you can figure it out anyways. Everything's the algorithm's such a shit show on TikTok anyway.
I find it to be quite useful. It's very attuned to what I like.
See, my problem with TikTok is I'm not
really on it, so I can't say.
I have my own account on it, obviously. Yeah. But the only account I ever look at is the podcast account. And that For You page is just a clusterfuck of stuff because we've just accumulated a weird grouping of people that we follow and follow us. So
yeah, that's true.
That For You page is a complete and utter shit show.
Yeah, I when I look at it, I just kind of see if there's been any new like messages or for some reason, almost every time I log on, there's something that's like, oh, you have a new follower.
Yeah, we randomly get followers on TikTok.
But I don't see I guess I don't pay that close attention, but I don't see the count going up much. Even though it seems like...
To be honest, I couldn't tell you the last time I was actually ever on it.
Yeah. I was on it recently when I posted that thing that you scolded me for not being clever enough. I didn't scold you. I
just merely pointed out
no, you said it. I'm like,
opportunity.
He's right.
So for anybody who saw the most recent post, which I can't remember what it says, so it says something like,
"Let us know if you watch the show." I forget what I said.
Yeah, hold on, let me.
Or listen to the show. I don't think I said watch.
It says, "Okay, students, if you watch/listen to our show, please make yourself known. We want to hear from you. Is there anything we could do to suck less? TIA," which I don't know what.
Thanks in advance.
Oh, thanks in advance. High School Famous. I don't know. Thanks in advance. I don't have a fucking 12-year-old at home. I don't know what this shit.
He doesn't do. My 12-year-old doesn't do that. I have my coworker. I think I first saw one of my coworkers do that,
Is it the same coworker that says fucking trust?
No,
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah, but so I told Sean the missed opportunity was that we were taking attendance.
Yeah.
So, hey, students, time for attendance.
Yeah.
And
raise
then
your hand
we
if you're
could,
here when I call your name.
You know, if say here in the comments if you're blah blah blah, and
yeah, it would have been great.
It would have been a neat little thing to kind of keep it on brand, as it were.
Yeah. Speaking of on brand, hello, welcome into High School Famous. Please, students, turn your textbooks to page 213.
These cold opens are getting real long.
This deep book of yours.
Yeah, this deep, thick,
wet
book.
Yeah, try to find page 213 in this sopping wet, creamy, deep book, and you will love what you find on the inside of said book.
What do you think is a worst word? Because a lot of people are creeped out by the word moist.
They are.
Obviously.
Yeah.
What do you think is worse? To describe something as moist or to describe something as creamy?
Don't know. I
guess it depends on what you're describing.
Yeah, and are people...
A vagina.
Is it just the word moist, or is it?
I think people
are just used to describe.
I think it's.
You know what I
mean? I think people just don't like the word moist.
Yeah, like
I don't have a problem with that.
I like with the fact that people don't like it.
No, I don't have a problem with the word.
Right. Okay. Like
I mean, I'm indifferent about people not liking it.
Yeah, I could care less.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less is the proper thing to say.
That is the proper thing to say.
Right.
Because if you could care less,
then
that means you care at least a little.
Yeah, and I don't. So you would have no issue if I were to start walking around saying that, this person, they were moistened by their own petard.
Well, I'd be more concerned with why their petard was moist to begin with. That would then cause them to be moistened by it.
They were moistened by it. That doesn't mean it was moist.
Well,
perhaps the petard used
a petard is typically not moist.
Right. The petard could have handled or used something that was moist in order to moisten the person.
A petard is an inanimate object.
Only when the fridge door is closed.
A petard is an explosive. Hence the term hoisted by your own petard, because the guy who invented the petard killed himself with it.
Yes. Was he moistened?
And therefore, he
also
was hoisted by his own petard.
Now, if he died and any of his body sort of ruptured or
fell into a puddle,
well, not even that. There would have been lots of lost blood.
Yeah.
In which case, I would say the areas that the blood covered were moistened.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he was moistened by the petard.
What else moistened him?
He was moistened. It was more of an effect.
He was moistened by his blood.
He was moistened. The petard exploding caused his body to moisten itself.
Okay. I mean, yes. So he was indirectly moistened by his own petard.
Yes.
He was directly hoisted by his own petard.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. This is why you come to us, students, for knowledge on subject matters that don't exist. I think
I feel like we should, I think everybody should remove the word damp from the lexicon and just start using moist as opposed to it.
Sure.
So like, if you go outside one morning, it's a little moist out here.
It's quite moist.
So
yeah.
It rained a little bit last night. The ground is moist.
Try to clean off that stain using a moist towel or cloth.
Yeah.
Sorry to moisten your spirits.
All words with moist. Not all words, but all words like damp and things like that.
I don't mean to moisten your spirits.
Yeah.
But your grandmother just passed away on her birthday.
You made me laugh so hard. Now my pants are a little bit moist.
Normally, you would have said damp in that scenario.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Interesting.
Always.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad that. You know what, Matt? I'm going to say. How long would you say?
I'm going to use the noise moistener.
Very nice.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I think that those aren't interchangeable in that way.
You know,
I suppose neither is moistening someone's spirits.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could, you maybe could.
How long would you say it took you to grow your beard to the length that it is now?
You know, I've kept it at about this length for so long. I don't exactly know.
Would you say roughly like 8 months from like clean shaven to?
You know, what's weird is because I haven't been clean shaven. I haven't been fully clean shaven in a very long time, but the most clean shaven I was Mustache Aviator. And at that point I had a mustache and like a little bit of stripe for that.
Okay.
That was the last time like the rest of my face was to the skin.
And do you remember what year that one was?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Maybe 2011, 2012? Maybe?
I don't think they occurred at that point. But
then maybe 2013?
Okay, so it's possible
it was definitely before 2014 because that's when I believe, was it 2014 I moved out of the St. Louis Park apartment, and it was during that time for sure.
I'm pretty sure that the last one that occurred before my son was born.
Okay.
Which was 2012. So I'm thinking 2010 maybe or earlier.
Oh, so you're thinking it was earlier than what I was saying. You think they weren't happening anymore at that point. Okay, I thought you said they weren't. I thought you meant like they hadn't started happening yet.
No.
I misunderstood. All right.
The very first one I want to say was 2006.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it was probably earlier then. So it's been a good long time since I've had a fully clean shaven face. So and this length just kind of happened gradually over time because I used to keep it closer. I used to keep it shaved closer down like yours is. And then it just kind of started getting a little bit longer, and then over time, like, so I couldn't tell you exactly how long, but I'd say, maybe about that long, roughly.
Well,
maybe I think it doesn't grow super fast.
I think I've got evidence to support that somewhere around 8 months ago, you were completely clean shaven, and that is the only thing in this video where you have some explaining to do. So I'm going to share my screen.
Right, what's this bullshit?
And I'm going to hope that you can hear it. Should we do a quick test of some? Let's just do a quick test. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So you see this?
Invest.
Let's see if you can hear it.
Nothing.
No. Okay.
You can hear it though?
Yes. That puts a wrinkle in things.
I need to be able to hear this to make it.
Yeah.
We have similar but different setups. I think you could maybe hear my stuff because I don't know if maybe it's because I don't do my headphones through my Focusrite.
Oh, you don't.
So maybe the audio does some weird different thing. I have no idea.
Well, that puts
the only thing you could do
is moistens that goal of mine.
Otherwise, you could hold your headphones up to your microphone, and I'd be able to hear it that way. But that'll be a weird audio situation. But either way, I mean, the listeners would only be able to hear it that way as well.
Well, I could send you the audio from it, and then you could plop that in, and I could just plop the video in and have the real audio. And so this would just be for the purposes of you hearing it.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
Do
you want to see this?
Do it. Let's go.
All right. Yeah.
Let's fucking go. I think. Do I need to see it to be also? So you'll play it. So
yeah.
I'm so excited.
Both sides noted that Schlegel was beloved in the school community. But prosecutors said it underlined the validity of the allegations because so many students came forward, even though he was their favorite teacher. Thursday morning, Severna Park Elementary School third grade teacher Matthew Schlegel was arrested and charged with 36 counts of child sex abuse and other crimes.
Whoops.
The charging documents say 8 female students came forward accusing the 44-year-old. and that independent witnesses observed some of the interactions. Friday morning, Schlegel had his bail review.
Well, the judge decided that based on the nature of the charges, he felt that it was appropriate that Mr. Schlegel be held without bond.
One reason prosecutors gave for why Schlegel should be held without bond, they say multiple people have seen him out and about in the community since the investigation began.
That doesn't sound
That's
like me at
roughly
all.
the same time the school district says Schlegel was reassigned to a building with no students.
He has not been, to the best of my knowledge, attending social functions during the pendency of the allegations in this case.
Prosecutors also elaborated on the charging documents, saying 8 students from different grades gave clear, concise disclosure during the forensic interviews, that those students accused Schlegel of repeated touchings over time, and prosecutors said based on those details, Schlegel presents a danger to the community, arguing Schlegel has serious appetite for children sexually. O'Neill points out the people who came out to support Schlegel, including his parents, sister, and other relatives.
Because they know Matthew Schlegel, and they know that Mr. Schlegel is innocent of these charges. It reflects the character of the individual, in as much as we had probably 20 people that were here to support Mr. Schlegel.
With Schlegel in jail, O'Neill explained the next steps.
We're guaranteed to have a hearing on the 12th unless he's indicted on the 7th. I use the 7th as a date that is typically the Friday preceding the preliminary hearing is typically when the state would indict.
O'Neill argued that it would be difficult to prepare a strong defense with Schlegel in jail, arguing instead that he should be placed under house arrest at his home or with his parents in Rockville. The judge disagreed. For 11 News Investigates, I'm Tolly Taylor.
So, Jesus Christ, they said the name a lot.
Yes, they did.
They are really just driving the name in.
So this explains why you don't go out much.
Well, apparently people have been seeing me out and about around town, so careful, I have an appetite for children. Jesus Christ.
So what's this about, Matt? Could you please? I mean, I know that you're probably pending trial, but I think you should take this opportunity on this public forum to, defend yourself and tell your side of the story here.
So obviously it's not me.
What?
No, that was a 44-year-old man.
You could lie about
that. Wasn't me at all. It couldn't have possibly been me.
I thought that I knew
this is
you.
a very dangerous road to go down.
So if you wouldn't be if you would do something like this, what would stop you from lying about your age? I don't understand. Why would I think that's outrageous? He can't possibly.
Well,
him.
I would never say I was 2 years older. That just makes the age gap that much worse.
You go deep. The old saying you used to say, "Go deep or go home."
That has to do with books only.
Well, you used to say it. I assumed it was about
specifically books, and these are old books. Old, very old books.
Very of age
Never
books.
Young books. Never new books. Old books.
What if they're old children's books?
Man, this is what do I write down? I want to write down something on here. But the first thing that came to my head was bad news, but that's terrible news. It's not bad. That's bad news is a thing. We do bad news.
Right. We do that. We did that anyway. We don't want to mislead anyone by thinking that there's another segment of bad news on this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far your only defense
is the age.
You're not 44 yet.
Yeah. And I have not committed these crimes yet. This is a future crimes. Minority Report.
Oh, shoot. We talked about that on another episode. Wow, let's get Tom Cruise here to
gotta get some
set things
Tom
straight.
Cruise with some precogs, as they called the people who could see into the future.
Those guys, the precogs, yeah. Of course, I remember that from
Raven Simone's a precog.
Oh, is she old enough? Don't look at her.
Yeah, she's very much. She's like in her 30s.
Just Raven Simone. I don't know. I don't know much about that Raven Simone.
That's so Raven, dude. She can see into the future.
I'm sure that
was the premise of that show.
Right, but I don't know how old she was on that show, so that's why I was like, how old is this girl?
She was probably, it was a Disney show, so she was probably, she was a high school student, so she was definitely in her low to mid 20s.
Yeah, okay. 24, 25 probably.
Yeah. That would be mid.
So right now, you're saying That's So Raven is mid?
I was saying that
what a jerk.
That's mid 20s.
Gotcha. Too old for you. So
where the hell did you find that fucking news story? Jesus Christ.
You know what's awesome? I was just trying to find your YouTube handle I don't
have one.
Yomled?
Oh, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah. So I was just trying to find your account so that I could slap you into my NSP reaction video as one of the requesters.
Oh, okay.
And that led me to a bunch of videos on this guy and his misdeeds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is an awesome stumble.
You know, it's oddly enough, my name is more common than you'd think.
One thing, so I
also hold on. For the record, people who are only listening to this.
Oh yeah, they
this
can't
is
see.
Not about me, for real.
Gotcha. Well, it's about
this
Matthew
happened
Schlegel.
in Annapolis or whatever the hell. And
the funny thing is, I specifically chose this report on it because some of the other ones I watched, they give his middle initials, and boy, it's 2 middle initials.
Oh yeah,
it's just not the same 2 middle initials that you
would
use.
Be,
I'm like,
dude, that would be way worse if it was.
If it were, I would have definitely chosen a video that showed. But no, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This guy also has 2 middle initials.
But you picked a news report where they said his name, about 57 times. That's his name.
Awesome.
He owns that name. That is him. I am not that Matthew Schlegel. Good God.
So
I want to find some shit about you or make something up.
Yeah, good luck finding a Sean tattoo anywhere else in the world.
Oh, guaranteed there's at least another couple.
There's a couple? That's hot.
Probably. Yeah, one for each finger.
Yeah. Get on my fulcrum. Yeah, so I wanted you to be able to take this opportunity to be able to defend yourself against these charges. But you're choosing to deny any allegations, of course. And so I'm sure your lawyer is advising you to not speak of this any further before the trial. So I understand why you wouldn't want to really discuss anything in detail, yes, on a public forum such as this.
Yeah.
Especially with our thriving Discord server. There's a lot of activity going on there. So this is something that would definitely raise a lot of discussion. And we wouldn't want anything to be said, especially in text over the internet, that could be held against you and submitted as evidence. So
there you go.
Yeah. By that, I will use this opportunity to let the listeners know that, hey, I finally learned how to make like an invite for our Discord server. And so
shouldn't we have it like up while we're doing this and we can like, interact with people live? I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean,
we can tell people we're recording and if they want us to mention anything.
Should we try to do that now or just wait till next time?
I'm gonna
just hop on.
We are live. Oops, that says lice.
Well, don't say it like that because but don't say we're live because that might make people think they can see us somewhere.
Not live. Recording.
We are recording right now. Does anybody want us to, anything you want us to talk about?
Anything you want us to talk about?
Let's give them something to talk about.
Some shout outs.
I noticed that one joiner was quick to remove themselves.
Oh, well, yeah. They clicked by mistake, apparently.
I don't know. Well, I posted it on our socials, and I also on Facebook. I shared it with group members, and I shared it with our high school group on Facebook,
Right.
and also sort of my college group. Not people I necessarily went to college with, but the multimedia program has like a Facebook group.
Okay.
And so I posted it there too.
Crazy.
And so I'm not sure where the people that joined are from. We know one of them, but the other one, I don't know where they would have come from.
Well, since I'm on here as me, I don't see who we have in there as followers or anything. So,
well, the person who joined is named Cramsey.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably, figure that out.
Oh, yeah, because I see right here it says, "Hello, Cramsey. Do you listen to the show? You've been on once."
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
So, say, hey,
and
you know what?
Response.
Well, but still, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
So far, even though we had one person join and then leave, we have also had 2 other people join.
Yeah.
So this has been the most successful attempt to interact with anyone that may or may not listen to the show.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree to that.
I had nothing to add to it.
Yeah. So I made it so the invite is infinite because it by default expires after like 7 days, but you can make it so it does not expire. Yeah. So it's not something we have to keep cycling and reposting a new one. It'll just be, we can keep it in our show notes and on our please check out our socials. We can just have it live there. And hopefully we
I'll
have
need to add the link to the show notes.
Yeah, we'll add the link. So I'll send you, well, we'll get it to you somehow.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we can. Then if people want to, interact while we're recording, we'll go on here and we'll tell you, hey, we're recording.
Yeah,
you guys can jump on. You can interact with us while we're doing it. You won't be able to hear us at the time, but
we can type responses, and we can
type responses.
Can mention what you want us to say.
And then when the episode drops, you'll be able to go on there and see how we were reacting when you were taping to us.
No, so then
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that sweet? And hey, maybe if we get real and what?
I just said Anne Heche. You said Anne Hay. I said Anne Heche.
Oh, the late. Too soon.
I mean, I think she got there early. She was driving way too fast.
Heaven?
Too soon, some might say.
Anyway, insensitive. If I get real ambitious, if there's something that even happens, if we're chatting with folks and they mention that they want us to, shout out whatever or bring this up or talk about this, we can throw up their Discord name on the YouTube version and be like this, that way they can get some recognition there. And
I mean, we should probably
we can charge them.
Make sure they want us to, because some people might not want their Discord names
for
out
sure,
there
for
to
sure,
just have random
for
people
sure,
start trying to follow.
For sure. It's real common for anyone that's active on social media to not want their information out there for others to follow. You typically want to just garner as many followers.
All of my
as you
social
can.
media accounts are private.
I said we're talking about regular people.
Yeah, regular people. I would say a majority, maybe, yes, but there are plenty of people that only share social media to people they like.
The youth.
Or no. So
the youth want everyone possible to.
True.
They want to have because
everybody wants to be an influencer.
They do. They want.
I'm sorry. It's not a real job.
If you make money on it,
if you make a
living, if you make a living doing it, then why isn't it? You could say modeling isn't a job.
Bullshit.
Well,
modeling at least to me serves some sort of purpose.
Right. Because you get off on it.
No, because it's people showing things off, and you
like to ogle at models.
You're the one with
influencers
people riding his fingers.
Influencers will
most
say
influencers are bullshit.
But they'll post what they're doing, and then people will want to know what they're wearing, where they are, and what they ordered, and all this kind of stuff.
maybe
that's what they do.
Maybe if it had a different title, it wouldn't be as annoying. I think the word influencer is so fucking like narcissistic.
It is, but you can't say something like, spokesperson or representative or something like that because it's not tied to a company in any way.
Yeah.
So what happens is they just go out. When they're big enough, they go out and
influencing people to use your product. Go fuck yourself.
I mean,
with the product,
it's deep books. The Time magazine has that most influential person of the year or whatever. Like it's
like that's different though because that's people with that are influencing others but that's not what they're necessarily fully intending to do. Like that's not their job.
I think it's a matter of, pun intended, time that an influencer ends up on the cover of Time magazine's most influential person or people of the last decade or whatever those issues are. I don't know what the exact terminology is.
It's just this whole thing of like your whole job is to literally just try to get people to buy other things. You're basically just a salesperson at that point of random anything that people will try to give you. And the fact that so many influencers try to get so much shit for free all the time because they're like, oh, I'll tweet it to my 6 million followers and then they'll all want to buy your shit too. It's like, no, because your 6 million followers can't afford the fucking shit you're trying to influence them to buy.
It's the same thing as celebrities who get a bag, a bunch of swag at events. This is how the world works.
Because the people, us regular idiots, see these celebrities wearing all this cool stuff, so now we want to go buy all that cool stuff. This is why I don't buy like name brand shit ever, because I just don't give a fuck.
That's why my shirts are Banana Republic.
Person. Banana Republic is still a name brand.
It is. No, I'm not. I'm saying
it's gone down in so many years, but it used to be a pretty big name.
No, I know, but I'm saying I'm influenced by the celebrities. That's why I shop at Banana Republic.
Are a lot of celebrities touting their Banana Republic nowadays?
They're not touting it. They're usually caught in those like paparazzi photos when they're sort of coming home from the grocery store or walking their baby in a stroller. That's when they'll have like a dirty old Banana Republic shirt on. I'm like, that's the life I want.
Yeah,
I want to dress like them.
I want to look like a dirty celebrity. I don't want to look like a fancy one.
I don't want to look like a clean normie.
A step up for me is a celebrity at its worst.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah, I would probably take that.
Yeah.
Temporarily. I wouldn't want it to be my entire life, but I think it'd be a nice experience.
It's a step up.
Yeah. You know what? Fine. I would prefer. I will take being a permanent celebrity at their worst. I mean, unless you count like at their worst, meaning they're either dead or so addicted to drugs that they're having to go in and out of rehab or something. That worst. Nah, I'm just talking like
we're talking
look embarrassing.
Like this. Yeah, like this is still a very popular, well-to-do celebrity. Right. They're just it's laundry day and they
go to the laundromat,
going to the grocery store with their fucking like little baseball cap to try to hide their appearance and that's the kind of celebrity you want to be.
Look, you celebrities, you're too good looking. You shine right through that hat. You can't hide behind a hat. Your looks burst through it. I want my looks to burst through a hat. Matt, how do I do that?
Stop rhyming.
Scat. Is that note flat? Oh, drat.
This is the portion of the podcast where Sean just rhymes for a while. I'm not going to be able to read that later.
That's why I type things.
Yeah, but I don't like it just picks up the typing noise.
I know, but I like typing over writing. That's why I have all of these pens.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got all those pens now that you don't use. After I bitched at you so long for not having pens ever, then you bought a bunch of pens and now you don't use them. Yeah. Because I had an abundance of pens, which now I have one pen at my desk.
Oh, shoot.
And it's technically not a pen. This is technically a marker.
The tables, they have a turned.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those fine tip felt markers. Yoicks.
So yeah, I think at this point I have pretty much solidified the fact that we will probably never have an influencer on our podcast because I've just insulted them too much.
Well, they don't listen, so they won't know you did that.
Yeah, otherwise we'd probably have a ton of fucking followers because they would have influenced all these people to listen to us.
Shoot, scoot, and boogie.
Then again, I'd probably still be willing to have an influencer on. I would just shit all over them the entire time they were on the show.
And then their followers would want to be shat on.
Yeah,
as a
because
result.
they're like, oh, they got shit on.
It's in vogue.
Shit
it's
on
cool
us. Yeah, it's cool.
They would want us to do it.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know.
And then we'd get a ton of followers.
And then I can finally justify mailing my shit to people.
I mean,
without a cease and desist letter.
That kind of takes away the joy of it, though, doesn't it?
It does.
If they're wanting to have it.
Yeah, it takes away the whole FU aspect of it. But like I said, I'm willing to make changes to better my life, and if this is one of the ways I have to do it, I'm willing. I will eat more fiber if I have to. I will buy Frosted Mini Wheats again. Not a sponsor.
You used to eat Frosted Mini Wheats?
Oh, yeah. If I'm going to eat a cereal, it's pretty much going to be that. It seems like the most, not the most adult cereal.
It's definitely not the most adult. It's Frosted. It's
right.
Immediately not adult.
Yeah, but who's going to eat? Who's going to eat non-frosted wheat?
A horse.
Yeah, yeah. But guess what? Horses don't shop at the grocery store.
You didn't think I was going to have an example, and I threw one right at you.
Horses eat hay.
Well, they would eat wheat as well. They eat oats.
You know how I know that, Matt?
Why?
Because I was told as a lad that hay is for horses when I would say hay.
This reminds me of the joke, what do gay horses eat?
Oh. What, Matt?
So here's the thing.
You're bad at telling jokes.
So, no. This
was
a
really
thing.
good.
This was a thing I did at the Renaissance Festival.
Okay.
Is because I have a different punchline for that joke.
Gosh, are you just trying to relive the old days all the time?
That's the only thing you can do you can't not relive them if you're.
No, but you're not like
the only thing you can do with them.
You're not talking about new experiences. You're like, oh, back in the Renfest
this brought
days,
up an example of something that happened back in the day. So
back when I was a duder puppy.
So, anyways, asshole. Out at Fest, we would do things where we would tell really stupid jokes. We tell bad dad jokes or whatever.
Sure.
So we did this thing. It was a wine tasting thing, so we could be a little bit more lewd there because obviously everybody's over 21.
Sure.
So the guy who hosted it, I would yell that joke at him. I would say, "Hey, what do gay horses eat?" And then he'd turn to the audience and go, "Hey," and everybody would laugh. And then I would go, "No, horse cock." And then they would get a bigger laugh. So,
I'll give it to you.
It was good stuff.
I wasn't expecting
it. It was not expected, and it always got a good laugh.
Very well.
I think it was actually just horse dick. I don't think I said cock, but like, no, horse dick. And then everybody would laugh. It was great.
It would have been funny if you expanded a little bit and were like, no, horse cock and balls.
Don't forget to hoof the balls.
People would definitely not be expecting just the balls.
The and balls part.
Yeah. So go back to the Red Fest 12 years ago or whatever and do that again.
Yeah. When was my last year there? 2013. So yeah.
Well, yeah, 12 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, I'm a historian. Don't take
no.
This
it was 2014 was my last year there.
Still within 12 years still counts.
Mm-hmm. My last and worst.
Oh,
it was the worst year.
All right, your worst year. Maybe not everyone's.
Oh yeah, no,
it
wasn't everybody's. It was my worst year there for sure. My worst year on entertainment, at least.
Hey, I'm not going to promise anything that we may not deliver on, but we may do another.
Having a baby. I'm having a miscarriage.
Right now.
Promise.
Something
I'm promising that I can't deliver. Yeah.
Horsecock. No, we may be doing another.
That.
I'm not trying to.
This episode's called Horsecock.
And balls. No. God, we may be doing another crossover with AON, apropos of nothing, soon, and we can ask them so far what's their worst year at Renfest, because they're all still very active with the Renaissance Festival, and so maybe they have a worst year story. Each of them we could ask.
I'm sure they would love to talk about it.
Why not? We could then follow it up. Well, I mean,
with their best year. My best year was the year prior, actually.
Wow, so you should have quit while you were ahead.
Apparently.
But you were
we didn't. We came into 2014 on a high of like, we just had an amazing year.
Yeah.
It can only go up from here, right? It can only get better, guys.
You're like, they loved Ragnarok.
That was pre-Ragnarok, buddy.
I know. No, I'm making it.
God. You just don't even know what you're talking about anymore. You sound like an idiot. Do you listen to yourself? I know you do, because it goes back into your headphones.
It does. It makes it so I don't feel like I have to yell.
Yeah. I don't feel like I have to yell.
Well, that's because your voice is at lowest level is yelling for me.
It's booming. You know what it is? It's because I'm hard of hearing.
It's because your book is
naturally
so
hard.
thick.
I'm actually naturally hard of hearing. I need to get my ears checked.
I probably need to get my ears checked as well.
What?
Well, no, you said it's because everyone in your family just talks so loud.
Well, that's the other part of it, and that's probably also why I'm now hard of hearing. Because everybody around me is always fucking yelling. Also, I think it's a lot of going to concerts without earplugs in.
I was just going to say, I think I've attended too many rock concerts.
Dude, because I've been the last couple of years I've been going to shows again, and yeah, every time I go to a show, like about 2 songs in, I'm like, why do I always forget to bring earplugs? And then the end of the night is just completely awful.
I still don't want to. I don't leave feeling like my ears are ringing or anything like that.
Mine are awful every single time. But I've been going to small venues.
Okay.
Recently, like other than like Duran Duran was at United Center. So that was fine. But everything else,
Living Color
was a bar venue.
Where was Seal?
Seal was in like it was like in an auditorium, like
an Orpheum type of a place.
Yeah, kind of like it was like where they do plays and stuff there and stuff, like a theater.
Sure. Yeah.
So that one was fine. That one wasn't too bad. And we were like not front row upper deck, but we were close to the front row upper deck. So that wasn't bad, but the smaller bar venue type places have been killing my ears. There's only one concert I've ever gone to where, like, when we went into it, they were selling earplugs at the, like, as you walked in. Oh, it's like, who does that? Stupid to wear earplugs at a concert. 3 minutes in, we all went back and bought fucking earplugs.
Yeah.
Because I could feel the organs inside of my body vibrating against my bones. That's how heavy the bass was.
I don't think that I would enjoy that show.
It was awesome.
I wouldn't like that. Oh, who was it again?
I mean, it was Orbital. You probably wouldn't you didn't go. So you probably opted out of it because you weren't an Orbital fan.
Was it when you were here?
Yeah, that was like, I think that was still high school days. Or maybe just out of high school.
I was waiting for you guys. I was just kind of hanging around the area.
Orbiting?
Yeah. I'm glad you caught. I'm glad it didn't fall on hard of hearing ears.
Dude, science. If you bring up science stuff, I am on top. I'm on that shit like a puma.
Astronomy. What? Pumas don't go after shit.
I'm on science like pumas are on anything, on what on their prey.
Like a black tiger.
Like a black puma, like a tiger puma.
Do you think pumas what would you think their favorite preferred shoe brand would be? Pumas?
It's one of my favorites.
I'm not asking about you. Question. I don't care. I don't care about you and your preferences and what you like.
I like pumas. My cats
Okay.
look like little pumas.
Oh, or just the house cats.
Yeah. Milton's built kind of like a puma.
Okay.
Monty's built more like that tiger.
So which one are
It's
you
much-
more attracted
Much
to?
larger. I'm not attracted to either of them.
It's
They're
weird
my-
describing the
they're my
build of your
cats.
animals.
I only
You're
like
"Oh."
them because they're underage,
Oh,
according to the news report.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna have to. I can't. This whole painting thing. I don't think I can follow through. I'm not gonna keep getting behind and then just keep thinking I'm gonna be. Because let's think about this though. Let's think about this though. What did we record? Did we record Saturday or Sunday?
Did we record on Sunday?
Either way, it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Sunday. So it was like it was just like 4 days for me to make 2 more paintings. It's not happening.
Did you even do one?
Well, I started to do one just before we got on. It's so subtle. It's not even worth showing because I don't think it's even like visible. Like the
It's
painting,
still white
like,
canvas.
well, pretty much there is actual very, very faint little markings everywhere. And I was going to make some comment about, I mean, if you want to see it, it's just really going to be nothing to look at.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I guess.
Okay, let's just do this then. So this is it. And most of them.
Is this called white noise? What is it?
Well, most of the markings are around the border, and this is a comment on our current.
Oh, so
political
it's
climate.
not the weird little like noisy look to it. That's all I'm actually seeing.
That's just how the canvas looks without.
Oh, okay.
doing
So I
anything to
actually
it.
don't see anything.
Yeah, so right around the border, there's like a very faint set of splotches.
Sure.
And it's just because right now it's really hard to tell what's going on at our borders right now in this country. That's really what this is all about.
You
It's a
are
political
such a
statement.
bullshitter.
It's a political statement on our current climate
didn't put
regarding
anything on this.
immigration.
There's no subtle anything.
Are you sure? Watch me Control Z a lot, and you can see all of it go away.
I can't
It's all
see
gone now.
anything.
There's nothing left. It's back from square. It's back to scratch.
Okay,
There's
now
nothing
redo
there.
it all. Let's
Okay.
redo it all. Let's see what
I'm painting.
you didn't have to paint again. Just redo the undos.
Well, now I can't do that.
Well,
'cause
now
I
you can't.
Started
You
new
fucked it
thing.
up. I don't. You're
But
not
if I-
doing anything.
Just watch. If I do this and hold it there
Well,
for a
yeah,
while,
if you
now
hold
you
it
see
forever.
something. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's subtle.
Okay,
It was
now
even
I
less
can-
subtle than this. Now you can see stuff.
Now I can see a little bit because you're actually. But that
Right, but
what
this
a-
is to suggest that like our current border situation has some sort of clarity, which it doesn't. So that's the
this is
statement
not
I was
what
trying
this-
to make with that painting.
I feel like you.
This is not a Japanese flag, by the way.
Well, no, obviously it's not.
So that was, so I'm still only 2 behind.
That super doesn't count. I feel like you just did that while you were saying you didn't have any paintings, and you just
No.
literally went in there and was like, "I'll just do this stupid like, border thing, and then talk about our borders are so." Oh, it's nothing's clear about our borders right now.
No, I did as I was doing it. I'm like, I'll just do it around the borders, and I'll say it's some sort of commentary on the country right now.
What a
And,
stretch!
It really was before we got onto the recording. It honestly was.
Hmm.
I'm not going to mislead our loyal listeners. You diddle kids.
I definitely don't. That
Only-
can stop.
There's a whole news report about it. There's several. It's not just one. So that's why I was saying like about 8 months, I think, to go from clean shaven to your current beard length.
Yeah, and I also completely, had a bunch of plastic surgery to alter my face, so I didn't look anything like
you didn't have to do
I
much.
did in that mugshot anymore.
It's just you put some glasses on and a hat, but I think.
Oh yeah, why would they take my glasses off for my mugshot as well? That's not the
You were wearing contacts
misleading.
at the time.
I don't have contacts.
Yeah,
I
not
haven't
anymore.
worn I haven't worn contacts in over 10 years.
They were submitted into evidence.
That's not
They're
how
Exhibit
contacts
C.
work.
They're Exhibit C.
As an SEE.
Well, it's SEE.
I like how you didn't even notice you did that.
Well, I was thinking C for contacts, but we both had a thing going on there.
I like mine better.
You know what contacts help? They help put things into focus, which is not what our border situation is right now. You're muted.
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm not. You know what's not muted? The conflict that's going on at our borders right now.
You're right. See you next Tuesday. Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, we're done.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
And then I can finally justify mailing my shit to people.
Kind of takes away the joy of it, though, doesn't it?